Hello my amazing people, welcome back to the channel. Now in the previous video I showed you how to create a landing page using Elementor, the free version. Now I promised to make a video on how you can create a more exciting landing page using Elementor, the pro version, and also testing out some pro features using this landing page. And this is a video. So in this tutorial I'll take you through every step on how you can create a landing page that looks just like this one over here, whereby you have your website visitors able to share your landing page with their community, whereby even your website visitor is able to contact you directly on the landing page, whereby they'll also be able to compare the two versions of the toolkit, in the free, also in the pro version of the toolkit, and at the same time they'll be able to make a payment on the landing page, or they'll be able to make their payment on that same landing page, and a great number of other tips and tricks I'll be showing you in this video. So if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and if you like this tutorial, please don't forget to hit the like button because that actually helps me out. See you in the video. And the aim of this landing page is to let people to be in position to buy our toolkit. In case someone wants to share, they can easily share our landing page with other people in their network, or in any case they want to write to us or kind of contact us to find out more details about the landing page. They can simply click over right here and the pop-up will show up, and over here they will feed in their name, email and phone number, and they can send us an email. And besides that, we will add some amazing functionalities, like for example clicking over right here and boom, we are taken over straight to our pricings and features. At the same time we'll use some Lottie animation over right here, and also we'll have our landing page perfectly responsive, just like when I show you over here in the inspector. See, now this is on the mobile, that is on the iPhone 7, 8 and 6. That's how it looks like. If we switch to another device, for example on the Galaxy S5, that's how it will look like, and that means that your viewers or your users will be in position to access this landing page regardless of the kind of device that they'll be using. So now let's dive straight in and get started. So to get started, we are going to dive straight into our dashboard, and of course you're going to make sure that you have Elementor, the free version, and Elementor, the pro version. That is what I have at the moment in my WordPress plugins dashboard. Head straight to pages, and under pages I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to give my page Kit Pro. So I'm going to say publish, and I'll open it up with Elementor. Okay, now I'm straight into Elementor. Now what we have to do first is to change our canvas to our blank canvas. So it's going to be Elementor canvas, and here we are. So I'm going to start by creating this section over right here. Okay, so we head back here, we're going to say add a new section, and this section is going to have two columns, should be the section itself. By coming over here to the section, we're going to set up our minimum height, so we'll make it something like 70 in the height. And now we are going to come over right here, we're going to add some content. So come to the widgets, we're going to add a title, we're going to add the icon list, and we're going to also add a button. So a button, just like you see, text, the title, the list icons, and then the button. And then we're going to also add right up here, a text or paragraph. So we're going to just simply add this. And this side we're going to add an image, which is this image over here. So I'm going to do simply just drag my image icon, come over here, select my image. Okay, so please make sure that you take a better image of higher quality than this one. Now we have our main features or widgets into our section. Now we are going to first add a background for our section and also an image. So we're coming back, select the section, go to style, and we're going to simply come over here, add a background image. So I'm going to say that's our background image. It is supposed to cover, and it is going to be fixed so that when someone scrolls, the image is fixed. Now we're going to add an overlay. So come over here on overlay background, choose a gradient, and we're going to choose our color, which is that, and we're going to give it a gradient angle of 70 and the opacity to be around 9.5. So 9.5 something like that. Now we are having our first section, and it almost looks something like this. So now we're going to first style up these icons. So by coming back over here, we're going to come to our title, we're going to come to style, we're going to give it a color of this, and we're going to go to typography, and we are going to change this to EM. I prefer to always use EM. So I just come over here, then I just use EM of 5, and I'm going to change my text, of course. So Pro Beginner Toolkit. Okay, now right down here, of course, I talk about what is, or kind of I write in summary what is in the toolkit. So I talk about domains, or domains and hosting, security, themes and plugins. Okay, so now I'm going to, instead of having them just being in the default, I'm going to simply make them to be inline, and I'm going to come here to style. I'm going to now style them up for my icons. I want the icon color to be that, and I want the text color, come back here to text color, I want the text to be white. So that's how I have my icons looking like. For the button, I'm going to come here to the style, or before, I can simply just say button text buy now, and I am going to add an icon for the shop or the cart, something like that, and I am going to give it a rounded border or something like that. So by coming over here to the border radius, I'm going to simply make it to be 20, or I can make it 30, and then I'm going to come over here to the background. I'm going to make the background yellow, and I'm going to make the text color to be in our blue, which is that one. Let me make the icon to be after, so content, come to the icon position to be after. Okay, so that's how I am coming nearing to what we have over here. Then on hover, it should change the color. So on hover, come select our button, come to the style, say on hover, it's going to change the background to the blue, and it's going to be in the color white. So that's it. And somehow we want it to shrink on hover, so we're going to say hover animation, want it to shrink, and that's how we achieve that. Then up here we're going to add some text, a super cool new way to building websites. So select this text, come over here, add a super cool new way to build websites, or to building websites, and I come to style, text color is going to be wide, and I simply want it to be something small, 0.8, something like that. There we go. So now we have our first section. Let's preview how that looks like. Boom. Now we're going to a little bit work on our image so that our image doesn't look too large. So we're going to come back over here, select our image, and then I am going to come over here on image size. I simply just make it 65. I update, then I'm going to preview. Okay, that's how it looks like. I'm going now to position this image to be on the very right of this shape. Update. Okay, now there we go. So I'm going to come back over here, and then I'll remove the padding so that I can simply add my own padding. So I'm going to select EM, and I'm going to give at the top a 2. Actually, let me give it a 4. On the right, I'm going to give it a 6. Bottom a 4, and on the left I give it a 6. And now let me see how this looks like in the preview. Okay, looks super cool. Now we are going to make some responsive settings, because we are going to reuse this same section on other sections. First of all, making sure that your responsive settings for this section works well. to save you a lot of time resetting again for the other sections. So I'm simply going to come over here on the tablet. I want to set it up and see how it will look like. Come here on the title. I'm going to reduce the size of this toolkit, the title, and also these others. I'm going to come over here, text. I'll reduce on the typography, size of this, make it like 6, and over here I'll make this one a little bit smaller but still very visible, like 0.6. And then I am going to come to the padding of the section. I'll unlink everything. I'll make an EM A4 and A4, and I'm going to reduce on the minimum height of this section on the mobile. So I select the view height and I'm going to reduce a little bit to have something like this. Then I am going to increase a little bit on this image. So I'm going to say width of the image on the tablet, something like that. Now let's do the edits on the tablet. Now let's do the edits on the mobile. So on the mobile, that's how it's going to look like. But on the mobile, I will not show this column. So I'm simply just going to select this column, come to advanced, go to responsive, and I'm going to say hide on tablet. And then I'm going to make sure that, this is taking over 100%. So 100%, here I set it up for this column. And then I'm going to select the section, come to advanced, and I'm going to remove all the paddings, select EM. I'm going to add a 2 and a 2 both sides, and I'm going to make sure at the top and bottom I add a 2 also, so a 2 and a 2 here, so that we have some space here at the top and some space at the bottom after this is hidden. And then what we are going to do is very simple. We head back now to our desktop view. We're going to select our button over here, and we can decide to link it up to a section. And how do we link up to that section? We are going to look at it after creating the second section. So what I'm going to do is update. Now after updating, now I have my section responsive. Now what I'm going to do is now duplicate this section. And now the second section we are going to create is this section over here. So to get started creating this section over here, we're going to simply just come back here to our duplicated section. And of course, we are going to remove whatever we don't want. In this case, we don't want the gradient. So we're going to come over here to the style. The gradient overlay, we are going to simply make it white. So select a solid color, come over here, give it white. The other thing we don't need is whatever is inside here. So we're going to simply delete and delete and delete this one too, and delete this other button. Come over here, we're going to add a title, and we're going to add another, which is going to be a list just like this. So we're going to come back here, add our icon list, add it, and nothing else we are going to add. Then we're going to add an image over here and a lottie. So come back here to our section. We're going to click on this image because we already have an image widget, delete it, and now we're going to select our ebook dummy, and there we go. Then what we are going to add also is a lottie widget. The lottie widget, come over here to the pro widgets, and down there is a lottie widget. It's new in Elementor. Now there we are. Now let's now start customizing our content. So we're going to add something like this for the first list item. I'll just copy that, come over here to our list items, add our list. You can change the icons to whatever you want. So let me say this one, and easily just come back here, delete this and delete the other, and then we can duplicate the first one so that we can retain our icon. Come back over here, copy your content. Let me just do this very fast. Okay, let me suppose that's all the content that we wanted to add over here. Then we're going to add our title where you need it. So click here on the title widget, add why you need it, come to style, color, we're going to give it our color, and the typography, we're going to give it to be in EM, and we simply just want it to be something like 3.5. Come over here to our icon list, come to style, we want our icons to be in yellow and then our text to be in dark black. Come over here to the icon color, yellow, and come over here to the text color, just this one. And then we come here to our image. So our image is basically, this image over here. And before we do anything with the image, let's come over here to the Lottie widget, and we're going to choose a media file which we're going to upload. I already have one over here. I'll simply just insert my Lottie widget. So where did I get this Lottie? I simply just went to lottiefiles.com and downloaded a Lottie and got a Lottie, customized it in my color, and then downloaded it on my computer, and that's how I happen to have a Lottie.json file in my Elementor website. Now once you have your Lottie, we're going to come over here. We want it to be looped so that all the time it's looking just like this, simply to let people know that you should continue down. Come back here to your Lottie. We're going to go to settings and we're going to make it looped. And now we're going to come to our image widget up here, come to advanced, and we're going to simply just come over here to the margin, select the percentage, and we are going to simply just say bottom 20, and we give it a negative. That is going to pull up our Lottie widget to come just a little bit nearer to the image. Now we are going to give our Lottie widget a 0 in the index. Under advanced, come to index, give it 0, then back to our image widget, and we're going to give it an index of 1. Now that is going to make the Lottie widget look like it is under the book dummy widget or the book dummy image. Now when we update, let's have a look at how it looks like in the preview. Cool, we still have our image fixed, and of course we have our text over here, and we have our dummy book, and also the icon appearing like it's coming just under the image of the dummy book. Now what you're going to do is, of course, we're going to position this to be positioned in the center of the section, and a little bit more line height for this text. So come back over here, select our list icon, come to the typography, and we're going to add a line height for this, like 1.8 is okay, the EM, and then we're going to make sure that our content for this section is vertically aligned to the middle. So when now I update, let's look at the preview. Boom, looks like now our content is positioned in the middle. We can add a little bit more padding on this section, and we can still move further this icon to be looking like it is a little bit further into the image. Select the Lottie animation, and we're going to reduce its size a little bit. So I'm simply going to make it a little bit smaller, like at 32. Then I will update. Now let's have a look at how it looks like at the moment. Okay, looks a little bit smaller. Now what we're going to do is we can reduce further on the size of this height of this section. I'm going to select the whole section, and I'm going to come over here on the view height, and I'm going to reduce it to, let me say, but even before I reduce it, I can just simply come back here to the section, come to the advanced. I can reduce on the padding of the top to maybe like 2, and also the padding of the bottom to, let me say, like 2. Okay, so we have something like that. Now let's look at the preview. Okay, so there we go. We have our section. We have reduced a little bit on the padding. We have our dummy book over here, our content, and that's it. So we are now done creating our second section after the first one, and now the second one. Now let's go straight and create our very last section. So to create this other section, what we're going to do is come back here to our editor. We're going to duplicate our first section, So by simply just saying duplicate, I'm going to grab my navigator, and let me first collapse these sections. And now I'm going to grab this middle section because it's the one we just duplicated, and we have it just down below here. You can rename this and say section 1, which is the first one, section 2, and section 3, and it's the one we have over here. Now I can close my navigator. Now what we are going to do is now to add the content, the title, and this over here. So what I'm going to do is, number one, I'm going to first of all add an intersection to this section. So I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to come over here, grab an intersection, add it into this section, and then I'm going to delete the first one, the first column. Then I will copy this and I'll paste it into this column. So I'll paste that, and now I'm going to simply change to pricing and features, or features and pricing. So edit my title, change it to features and pricing. Okay, now once that is done, then we can also add these list icons over here. So we can simply just grab this, drag it into the other section, and now we have that section done. I can now do some paddings and all that stuff. So for example, I can simply come to the column, make sure that I remove all the paddings or whatever I don't need. So I have a free section, the same to the main section, by selecting that main section, and then I'll just simply remove everything to do with the padding. Then now I have something familiar to this. I'll make sure that I center everything in here. So I center this, and then I'll also center the content for the list icons. So by coming over here, I'll just simply say alignment center. I'm going to delete this widget, we don't need it at the moment. Next, what we're going to do is to add the pricing table, which is this. So I'll simply just come back over here, then search for the pricing list or the pricing table, grab it and just add it right into here, and I'll delete this. But before I even do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all my widgets right in this section into the main section. So I'm simply just going to drag everything what I had added from here, for example, even this, the icon list, into the main column. Okay, and then I'm going to use my intersection, give it 2 columns. So I can simply just say add a new column, and then I'm going to copy my price list, copy, and then I'll add it over here, paste, and then over here I'll also paste the same pricing table. So I'll delete this over here. The other thing I have to add is, of course, the image, which is down below here. So I'll just simply come back here and I'll simply delete this first. I don't need it. I'll come, grab my image widget, add it at the very bottom, and I'll simply just come over here, grab my icons for the payment cards, and there I am. So that's how I happen to have a layout that looks something like this. Then what I'm going to do is simply customize, add the features and everything. So I'm going to come over here, select my price list. Of course, I'm going to say this is free. I'm going to disable the description, I don't need it. The pricing is going to be 0, and then here I'll add lifetime. And for the features, here is where you add your features and whatever is on the list. For the interest of time, I'm not going to add these, whatever is here, but you see how you can simply just customize everything. So I will also come back here to the footer, and I'll disable this button because we don't need it. So I'll just simply remove. So I'll simply just grab this text over here, come back here, add the text, and that's how I happen to have that text. And then we're going to come here to the ribbon, and we'll disable the ribbon over here. We don't need a ribbon. And also we come back here to our other column where we want our, so here I'll say pro, We don't need the description. Come to the pricing, it's only supposed to be $39, but since it's going to be a sale, so I'm going to come back here, lifetime. Since it's going to be a sale is supposed to be the $39, the price, and the actual price now is $29. Okay, just like you see right here. Coming back here, you can customize your features, add whatever you want, remove whatever you want, like simply saying add item, and that's how we happen to have all those items. And coming back here to the button, on hover, this is how it looks like. So I'll simply just come back here, say in the footer color, so I'll say buy now. You can here add the link to your payment processor or to the page where people are actually going to make the payment from, or the payments from, and then you can add your unique text, something like that, and then we'll hide the ribbon since we don't need it. And coming over here to the style, we're going to style our button. Simply just scroll down to the footer, and in the footer you have the option for the button. You can say large button, smaller button, or whatever you want. The text color, we can add it to be this, and for the background color, we're going to make it this color. And then we're going to add a border radius of 30 so that we have a round button just like that. But now on hover, what happens, we want of course the button to shrink, and we want the text to turn to white and the background to be this other color, which is blue, something like that. Now let's look at how it looks like on the updated page. Okay, first section, second section, and now the very last section with all this. Let's now have let's now change the color for the top here. So coming back here, select your widget. We're going to say header background color is this. The same over here, header background color. Select the other widget, and we have our header background color set to that. Looks a little bit familiar, or you can simply choose any other color that you want. So that's how we happen to have that section. Then next, what we are going to do is, of course, we have to test how all these sections are going to look like on the mobile, these two. But before we go into testing that, let's first add the social media icons, and then later on we'll add an email option. So we're going to say over here, we're going to grab our social share buttons, drop them over there. You can add as many icons as you want. Let me add here WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, and then here I simply just want to show the icons. I want it to be circle, and I want only one column. And after one column, I simply just don't want to have a gradient. I want it to be flat, the design of the icons to be flat. And now I'm going to come here to advanced. I'm going to come to positioning, and I'm going to make this to be inline, and then I'm going to make sure that the positioning is fixed, and I'm going to make sure that I move them to the other side. You see how it looks like now? It's fixed. Now we can kind of position further these icons. So what we're going to do is come back here on the offset. So we're going to say we want it to be a little bit inside. We can make it like 20. Let me just use the view width. Let me say a 2. And then the offset from the top to the bottom. So I can just come here to the view height. I'm going to move them a little bit, just like, a little bit down. 2 is enough. I'll simply just say update. Now let's look at the preview. Okay, it still looks a little bit up, so I'm going to move it a little bit more down. Maybe an 8 is enough. I update. Now let's go and preview. Cool. As you scroll, they still do appear on the page, and someone can easily share your landing page to their social networks. Next thing what we're going to do is to add an email contact, so that when someone clicks over right here, this pop-up shows up and they are able to send you an email right still here on the landing page. So to get started creating this kind of option whereby people can, click on a button or anything or an icon, and then your contact page or pop-up shows up. We are going to simply first of all come back here to our Elementor dashboard. So by coming back here to dashboard, we're going to come to Elementor templates, and there's something called pop-ups. You see, I already have an email pop-up or this pop-up that I created, but how do you do it? Since we have Elementor, we can simply just come over here, add a new, and then I say new email pop-up, and I'm going to say create. So first of all, we create our pop-up, and that is a pop-up that we will trigger to show up whenever someone clicks on that email icon. So I'm going to simply just come over here and I'll select a pop-up that I want. In this case, I selected this pop-up. Let me just select the same pop-up. For this pop-up, it was showing up on the left-hand side. So I want it to show up on the right-hand side. I'll simply select the pop-up, come over here to the settings, and I'm going to say position horizontal, let it be on the right-hand side. I'm going to change the background. So by selecting the whole pop-up, come to style, and I'm going to say background type. I'm going to change it to the background color that I want. I can change the angle to 70 to look just like that. Then you can also select on the contact form or the form itself, and you can make changes on what kind of fields you want to collect. Let me say you want to collect the email field or the phone field, or in case you want to collect another kind of field. For example, if you want someone to give you their website, so you can simply just ask them, and then right here you can type in for them to enter in their website, website, and now you can reposition this label to somewhere here. You can change the input size to extra small, medium, something like that, to whatever you want. And then the button, you can also make changes to the size of the button. I don't want to go into that. Actions after submit, you want to be sent an email, and you want that email to come to that email over right here. So in this case, I can say Hamza at gotechug.com from this landing page. Here you can set up the subject of that email, and that's all. So once you are done, the other thing you can add entrance animations. This one enters from the right. When you close it, closes and goes back to the right. So by coming back here to our pop-up, you can select the pop-up, and then you can simply just come over here to the entrance animation. You have fade in left, I want it to fade in right, and exit animation, I want it to fade out right. Okay, I'm done setting up my pop-up. I can also delete all the other fields I don't want to be on my pop-up, just like this, and I'm good. Save and close, and that's it. So when we come over here to our editor or our landing page, we are simply just going to number one, reload, just to update. Now we're going to scroll down here, we're going to come, and then we're going to add an icon. I just drag my icon widget. I'm going to change this to an envelope, that one. I'm going to give it a color. Primary color is going to be white. It can be any other color that you want. You can change the size, you can change the rotation and all that stuff. I'm going to come to advanced. I'm going to go to positioning. I'm going to come to width. I'm going to say inline, and I am going to say positioning. It's going to be fixed, and I'm going to make it to be on the on the right hand side. On the view width, I'm going to simply just move it just like this to be at 2. And then on the offset, I'm going to select on the view height. I want it to take over something like this to be like maybe at 42. Okay, and let me reduce a little bit on the size of the icon. So coming back to style, I'm going to reduce this to maybe 40. Now let's set up that when someone clicks on this icon, they actually show up the contact form pop-up. What I'm going to do is simply come over here under the icon itself, come to the link option, select or click on the dynamic tags, scroll down, select pop-up, and under pop-up you're going to now select open pop-up, and select the pop-up or search for the pop-up. So I'm going to say new, email pop-up, the one we just created. Now I'll simply save. Now once I save, I'm going to come back here to my preview page. Boom, now my email icon shows up, and now once someone clicks on this, boom, our pop-up shows up over right here. Someone can enter in their email, and then they can send you an email so by entering in your URL, then here your form will be successfully sent to your email. Now maybe you have questions, like you see already it also exits to the right hand side like we had set it up. Now if you want to style it up, when someone hovers over here, it looks just like this, in yellow color. You simply just come over here to style. On hover, you want the primary color to be yellowish, so on hover it turns yellow. Now it looks like we are done with our landing page using Elementor Pro. The other thing you have to check out is the responsiveness. Now let's come over here to the tablet. We simply see how this is going to look like. This is okay, and we can make some changes over here. First of all, we can reduce the size of this text. So come here to typography, select EM, and we can change that to be maybe 2. You can further reduce on the size of this other content. Come to text, typography, I'll select EM, and I have something like that. And here over the image, I'm going to simply just select the image. I'm going to make it to be a little bit bigger. Maximum width, I'll make it 100, and padding looks fine. And the same over here, I'm going to add some padding, and I'll be done, because here on tablet it looks fine. So just simply come back here to advanced. Top, I'm going to give it 1 in EM, and bottom I'll make it to be 1 EM. That looks fine. Let me head straight to the mobile. This looks okay. Since we already set it up, we can also make changes on the icons, but I simply want them to stay as they are. This looks okay. This looks okay too, and boom, it looks like I am done. Now when I head back now to our preview page, boom, here we are. All our sections are here, looking pretty fine. When we come here to the inspect and we look into this landing page on different devices, you see now here on the Galaxy S5, that's how it looks like, really neat. And when I switch to other devices like the iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus, that's how it looks like. So in a nutshell, I just want to congratulate you on learning on how you can use some exciting features from Elementor Pro to create your landing page in Elementor. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it brought you some value, and in case you like it, please give it a like, and in case you have any comments or questions regarding this video, let me know down in the comment box below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you don't miss out on new tutorials when I push them out. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.